Hey, we're live and big, huge welcome. I'm delighted to have. Actually, I have to remember. I have to keep pointing the wrong way to be the right way. My Celtic cousin, Mr. Brad Pauls. Anyway, Brad, how are you? And how are you since the big fight?
Yeah, I'm good. And since the fight, I've been good. I had 1 week off, and I've been in the gym since. But yeah, I'm feeling positive. I'm not deflated. I'm motivated. Just one of those things. So yeah, back in the gym and then starting to make a plan for the next move.
Yeah, because I was there fight night. I was practically ringside, um, and it was an amazing fight. And me and the guy next to me, we were scoring it, and uh, he had it for you one more round than I had it for you, So, I
Yeah.
mean, but like it was, I you could see where the tide turned in the fight. You really hurt him. I think it was around round six,
Mm.
and he then, of course, he became had an allergic reaction to his gum shield after that. It seemed, and I was watching one point where uh, you punched him and his gum shield came out, and the referee stopped the fight then and there, which I've never seen done before. Like
Yeah.
he was giving him every opportunity to recover. The holding, everything was fine. The gum shield out three times. Any other person that would be a warning, but
Yeah,
apparently not.
I always thought the rule was gum shield out 3 times a point. And then I also thought the rule was if the gum shield does come out, you wait for a lull in the action.
Well,
So
yeah. It,
the
I,
one of the times the ref stopped it, there was no lull in the action. I had him.
no, sure. I was watching it back, like because people said three times. I said yes, it was three times, and then everyone went, "Oh Christ, it was three times,"
Yeah,
Uh, but he is the home fighter, and he does bring a big crowd. So you had to fight all of that. But
yeah,
I think you did it in spades. Now, to be fair, you put on a great performance, and I could definitely hear the Newquay Bomber fans behind me. They're obviously not in a bigger number as the Stokies, but by God, they were behind their man till the very end.
yeah,
Uh, but it was a brilliant fight. I always said the British title brings out is usually the most best contested because it's usually two young guys on the way up. Now I know Heaney's a little bit older, but still he brings the action and he brings the crowd. I mean, he puts on a show. He is a showman, we'll give him that. Stephen is just my good friend from Northern Ireland there, the north of
yeah,
Ireland. He's just saying good day. But you know what I mean? He's definitely a showman, isn't he?
yeah. He's brilliant ring walk, and he's done amazing. He's built up a massive fan base for himself, starting from small hall like myself.
Mm.
So you got to give him credit for that. And obviously he sells a lot of tickets. So and that's one of the perks of being a home fighter is you get all the little extra percentages where you can have them.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, as I always say, if you get a draw and you're the away fighter, you've effectively won. But they just can't give it to you. You know what I mean? But
yeah, yeah.
anyway,
That's the feeling I got, and I've had a lot of fights in my life. I've had 70 odds with my amateurs and the pros, and
mm,
you get a feeling in there whether someone's got the better of you. You can sort of
mm,
sense it. In you,
mm.
obviously, you're not scoring it yourself, but you sense it. And at the end of the fight, I just didn't feel we had the beating of me. I didn't feel like he got the better of me. So,
No, he definitely didn't get the better of you when you were on top at the end. I
yeah,
mean, anything that he had at the start, well, I couldn't, if they were giving him, they couldn't give him anything after round six. But
yeah,
no, it was good, and I have to say both of you were very fine tuned for the fight as well. So what's happening now? He didn't like me asking him for an interview because I wasn't very I didn't say he won, so he didn't like me.
yeah,
But I heard he's blocked you on social media.
So I didn't know this. He blocks all of his opponents in the build up to a fight,
All right.
and then I think he forgot to unblock me after. And then I went to tag him in a post, and I was still blocked. Look, it's not personal. Like I don't know Nathan personally. Like I'm not
Hmm.
seems like a nice bloke. It's never personal for me, but yeah, I wasn't like having a dig. I was just making it known that I would be very much up for the rematch. So yeah, just
Well, I mean, like as a person, even a spectator there. I mean, the fight was brilliant. I mean, everybody said it was brilliant. Everybody loved it. Now I know we had Wardley Clark at the weekend, but that was a different type of fight.
yeah.
They are heavyweights and they do heavyweight things. I mean, you're middleweight, and by God, I always liked the middleweights myself because you have a mixture of the skill and the power. It's where they both combine. Because at the lower weights, you've someone like Inoue, who I love. He's my favorite fighter now, but his skill level is huge. But he's one of the very few power punches at that level.
Yeah.
Whereas up at your level, every shot could be devastating, not quite heavyweight level, but still it can change a fight. As we saw when you were throwing them bombs in round 6, it completely changed the trajectory of the fight for me. But yeah. So what do you hope to do next? Any word on a rematch or?
Yeah, it's funny, like there's no I'm guessing there's definitely no rematch. And I spoke to Frank in the press conference and the weigh in, and then as I got into the ring and as I left the ring, and he seems very interested in working with me, especially after the fight. He was like,
Well,
right.
to be honest now, and as a person just sitting there, I mean, the way you displayed yourself, I mean, your fighting style, I mean, your box office, like, I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, and you had good support as well, which a promoter wants to hear,
Yeah.
So I absolutely think, I mean, and, Queensbury, they're with TNT Sports and they want, exciting fighters on the list. So I could definitely see him, with you again. And,
yeah.
and who would you? Where would you like to go if it's not Heaney? Where would you like to go next?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I've only just thought about the rematch. I think my manager's got a bit of a plan, and if it's, I think we have to wait and see what the board do, whether they're going to force a rematch or I get mandated for the British or whatever happens in that situation. But whatever happens, I'm not going to sit out the ring and not box for 5-6 months. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to worst case scenario. I'll fight in June, whether I have to go back to small hall or not. That's what's going to happen. And then by then we'll know more on the next move. But I think the worst thing for me is if I sit out the ring and do nothing.
Absolutely, because inactivity, it's not good for a fighter. I mean, obviously, every time you go in the ring, there's risk. You could get injured or you could lose or whatever could happen. But injury obviously is the biggest risk because then you're out, But I mean, no, that would be good. And then, of course, they are talking about getting him a title fight of some description at the Bet365 arena in Stoke. So that could mean then he'd vacate the British title.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
But these are all conjecture.
So many moving parts, and it's like you can't say anything with any certainty, really, because if you do that and he does vacate, then who's next in line? Am I going to get mandated? Who would be mandated against? Yeah, there's too many moving parts to say anything with any certainty, but it's a busy division. There's loads of good fights out there for me. But I think, activity and sitting out the ring ain't the one, so we'll do something.
Exactly. Stephen there, he's just commented as well. He hasn't seen the fight yet, but by all the reports, what I read and seen, he says he thinks you were a bit hard done by. Well, that's thanks for that, Stephen. But and I could imagine though the British Boxing Board of Control, surely given it was a draw, they would order the rematch. That's what I thought, And then it's up to Heaney whether he kind of wants to take it or he wants to obviously go for his world title, whatever. If it is world, but then maybe it makes financial sense to have this again, because it was a very popular fight. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone came away from that going, that was brilliant. The result left it hanging. I mean, a draw. Nobody likes a draw. So, like running it back to me would make sense. I'm sure you'd be a fan of that.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I'll take it in a heartbeat. But it's just you sort of part of you can't blame Nathan a little bit if they go, we can get you a fight at the stadium and it's X amount of money, or you can have a rematch with Brad and it's a lot less money. It's easy business decisions, isn't it? It's like
but I mean,
one page with
who could they get, without going too far up, that's going to, in fairness, I think if you ran it again, you'd easily double the ticket sales. So, who is he going to get to fight in the Bet365 that's going to be so brilliant that he's going to sell all these tickets? Yet, obviously, Nathan has to have a chance against. If I'm not being too kind of smart about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I'd love the rematch. If they're going to do something else, then it's out of my control. Really, it's not a lot I can do about it.
It is absolutely, and there's no point for you hanging on. But and when will you get word on, or when would the British Boxing Board of Control be making that move if they were?
It's about 10 days time. So I spoke to my manager. I think it's about 10 days time. They do like the circular, and they'll make decisions. So
yeah,
I'll know a lot more in 10 days. So I guess we'll see. This is the part where you get told the information and hope for the best. There's not a lot you can really do in the meantime, but I'm training. I'm positive, and hopefully good comes.
And how is training going now? Just you're back into it, please.
Yeah, it's good. I train anyway. Like I start losing the plot if I don't. To be honest, if I sit around too long, get all fidgety. So I'm back in the gym. I enjoy it.
Any runs yet?
Hey,
have you brought your puppy on any runs yet?
Not yet.
I suppose he's a bit too little.
But I'll train him up for some 5Ks. I think is the plan.
Absolutely.
But, a few more weeks, yeah.
And where do you train? Do you train in Cornwall or do you train in Essex now?
I live and train in Essex. The gym's up here. All the best sparring's up here. We got the Peacock, Bentley, 10 minutes away. We got Sims's gym, 15 minutes away. And in Cornwall, there's no boxing there. So I visit as much as I can, see my family.
Oh, absolutely. Because it was great. I think I was sitting beside the guy from BBC Cornwall, and, there was a huge support for Cornish sport. And of course, I was plugging the Celtic thing as much as I could, because
that's it.
It's great. And have you a strong affinity for Cornwall? Like, would you identify yourself as Cornish more than English, or is it?
That's a really good question. I've been learning a little bit about it, and there is a difference, like if you look back at the history.
Yes.
But I don't know. I like to say I'm Cornish first. Before if someone says where you're from, I say Cornwall instantly. If they're
well, that's fair enough. I mean, you're Cornish, then you're English, then you're British. Maybe
right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
it's all good, and
yeah,
it's a great part of the world too. I'd love to. I haven't been there yet. I keep threatening to go there, but the closest I've got is Bristol Airport. But,
about 3 hours away from me, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, but no, that's cool. Well, Jams just jumped in there and said, I really like Nathan Heaney, but Paul's definitely won that fight, and we 100% should see it again. Well, there you go. For a Heaney fan, you can't ask better than that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of messages like that, the most I've had in my life. Comments, people saying I support Nathan, but I think the rematch would be brilliant.
Well, everyone I know, like at the arena and afterwards, and people I was talking to, were even saying, "Oh, you were so lucky to be at that fight." And I said, "I know, because you often go to fights and they're drab or whatever, but by God, your fight really, really was exciting, and especially when you had him hurt." Because his fans were worried and everyone was worried. And the referee was worried because he kept picking up his thumb shield and going, "Stop fighting." You can hug him for as long as you want. But, But no, I think everyone would love to see the rematch, and you're obviously up for it. And would you do it in Stoke? Would you go to Stoke?
Anywhere.
Anywhere, good man.
I don't mind being the away fight. I'll be the villain. It don't bother me. I'll do it anywhere. I'd be happy to do it. Do it in Cornwall if he wants. That'd be a good one.
Well, when you win it, then you could give him, the trilogy in Cornwall.
Trilogy in Cornwall, yeah.
Send him into the Irish Sea.
Yeah.
Or St. George's Channel, or whatever it's called down there.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see. I'm positive. Something good's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. But anyway, best of luck with your training, and whatever's next, keep us all informed. SWS Boxing just jumped in there and said Brad, so maybe he's going to type something else.
He's a good lad. Hello, mate.
Yeah, he is a really good chap. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to chat to me, and best of luck. And we'll definitely keep a watch out for whoever you fight next. It's going to be great. And if it's Nathan Heaney, then we're all going to be there, because it's going to be another explosive affair. And hopefully this time, it won't be just the gum shield that hits the floor.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be good. Good to have you there, mate. Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Well, thanks very much. And Slán agus Bannacht, as we say in Ireland, that just means goodbye and best wishes. But yeah, fair play. My Celtic cousin.
Awesome, mate. Oh, thanks very much, mate. We'll see you soon.
See you.